I don't like to think of what I'm doing as copying Sam Sulek. That's not at all what this is. What I'm doing is trying to do the exact same thing that he is, if that makes any sense. Hey, what's up, guys? Video output hasn't been, what I wanted it to be when I started all this. Just the time that I chose to do it. Just the timing of other things that were out of my control was just a little bit funny, a little bit of Murphy's Law. So January 3rd was when I wanted to kick this off, and I don't think I even started it on January 3rd like I wanted. I think I was a few days late. But January 3rd is when I planned to start, and then January 6th, things at work just got a little bit crazy with a project that I'm on. It just demanded a ton of my time. I was barely getting like my minimum training in, and balancing work, training, girlfriend, and also the clients that I coach. There wasn't extra room for the burden of editing. Recording is easy to do. Like right now, I'm just driving home from work, and so it's not hard to find time to record. And I knew editing was a time sink. I've done video editing before, so I did know that. I underestimated the amount of time it was going to take to really do it right, or to do it as right as I can with my skill level right now. Obviously, it'll get better over time. So yeah, I'm going to keep doing the videos that I have been doing, the informative. Like I did one video on how I maintain my body weight, or increase it or decrease it, however I want to do it, whatever the phase I'm in. I did a video going through my meal prep, at least the one that I was doing at the time. I did start a cut recently, so currently I'm doing something a little bit different than that, but it's mostly just taking the butter out and replacing the ground bison with chicken breast. So I'm still going to do videos like that. I've got one coming up. Jerry Lopez requested, one of the chiefs from my boat in the Navy, the USS Kentucky, a grip training, wrist training, forearm training type video. So I have the equipment I need for that. It's stuff that I'd had in the past, but like through moving and some wear and tear, like some of it was missing, some of it was broken. I didn't buy it just to do that video. I bought it because it's stuff that I already had that I just no longer had. So now I have the equipment for that, so I can go do that. Trying to figure out the microphone situation. I've got these, Rode, which I think is actually the same one Sam Sulek uses, just by coincidence. It's had good reviews on Amazon. But I don't know if the ones I got are defective or if they're just garbage or what, but the receiver turns on, but the transmitter doesn't. So I have to figure that out. And then I can record a video like that in the gym. Now that I kind of freeing up some time. So yeah, I'm trying to do more of these vlogs to keep at least a regular output. Again, the whole point of starting this channel was to go through the transition from pro strongman to bodybuilding. So if I'm not making videos because I don't have time, but I'm doing this transition, I'm not covering that stuff. So I'm gonna try and do more of these just for the day-to-day, especially because I'm 2 weeks out now from the powerlifting meet that I'm doing up at Untamed Strength. Once that meet is done, I've officially been in bodybuilding since mid-December after Worlds ended. But I've kind of been doing my own thing with training, kind of just trying it out, doing the hypertrophy stuff, doing the bodybuilding style workouts, trying new movements. So training in that method. The diet has been pretty much what my diet already was, because I already kind of diet similar to bodybuilding anyway. Haven't started with posing yet because it's not something I can really teach myself, or at least I wouldn't trust myself to. So I've been bodybuilding, but it's really going to start in earnest after this powerlifting meet is over, because that's when I'm going to hire Jake of the Choppy crew over at the lab to be my bodybuilding coach. So he'll be programming my workouts, doing the diet stuff, and helping me with posing, which is going to be the biggest thing that I need to learn, or at least the most different. They're all important, obviously, but posing is going to be the most different from anything I've done before, just because I've never done anything like that at all. So look for more of these. I kind of got the idea, like I've been watching Sam Sulek because, you know, you get into a new thing, you really want to expose yourself to it as much as possible. So with the bodybuilding thing, I've been in strength for 10 years, but I never really followed any bodybuilders. Like I know who they are, I know the names, I know what they look like, but I never really followed any of them because that just wasn't the world, the space that I was in. Now that I am, you know, obviously I'm watching Greg Doucette, I'm watching Jeff Nippard, not as much, but Eric Janicki, Sam Sulek, and Sam is by far my favorite. And so I noticed that his videos are minimally edited. He gets in the car, he records something much like this on the way to the gym, he records his workouts, and then he records more talking on the way home from the gym. And very minimal cutting, there's no jump cuts or anything like that. It's just a stream of consciousness. Now, he's better at talking than I am. I watched some of his older videos, and he was kind of, you know, in the same spot I'm in now, and obviously he's improved through practice. So I'm like, you know what, I need to just do these. I don't know if they're going to be very good, but I need to do them so that they're out there, and so that I can practice and get better at speaking to the camera. Like, you know, it's different when it's not a conversation where you're just kind of talking to yourself. But Sam, he's very well spoken, very charismatic, he has a smooth voice, so he's really good at what he does, and that's why he has 4 million followers. One of the things I got to work on is not saying and so much between thoughts and all the dead time that I have. So I've been kind of trying to do jump cuts in my videos to minimize that, but really I just need to not do that. And I'm working on it, but fuck, there it is, right out the gate. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do some of that stuff, and especially once I get started with Jake, there's gonna be a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of things to. I'm in a rental car right now because my car's in the shop. I'm trying to pick my car up, but of course I'm in Friday afternoon rush hour California traffic, and so even though I've muted the Android Auto connection to the car, and I have my phone muted, and I have the car's volume all the way down, it's still making those noises. I don't know, maybe because I'm old and I don't know how to use technology. I just can't figure out a way. So if it keeps doing that, I'm sorry, but this, you know, I should get rid of this car, and my car doesn't do that. So yeah, that's gonna be the goal here. I'm gonna try and keep the videos between like 10 and 15 minutes if I can, and yeah, like I said, once the bodybuilding really gets going with Jake and I'm actually doing things, you know, I'll basically be not in prep, because prep is kind of that last phase before a show, and I won't be stepping on the bodybuilding stage until about this time, probably even a little later than this time next year. I'm really going to give myself a long time to, because strongman and bodybuilding are just very different. There's a lot of work I have to do with, you know, having muscle mass in the right areas, having symmetry. The posing is going to take a long time for me to get down to where I'm doing it well. I can't say from experience that it's difficult because I haven't started doing it yet, but I know that it's difficult. It's difficult to do well. So there's gonna be a lot of practice involved there, and I'm not the kind of person that wants to just step on stage for shits and giggles and look like the fucking guy in those memes where, you know, you got the average guy that's just wearing fucking Fruit of the Loom tighty whities and looks like he's never been in the gym in a day in his life. If I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna like do it right. So yeah, I've got 3 more workouts before I go into deload for the powerlifting meet. I tend to peak pretty aggressively, training with Power WOD with Jesse Burdick. The peaking protocol that I've been on for years and years is very aggressive, and I've found that I perform best with a little longer deload than a lot of people take. So going into a meet or a strongman show, I don't train for like 8 or 9 days, and it took a long time to dial that in. I had like 3 meets in a row where I hit my opener for squat and bench, and that's it. No seconds, no thirds, and these were numbers that I should have easily been hitting. So I was getting on the board. I didn't bomb out, but my performances were just really bad, and these were on like 4 or 5 day deloads. And I was getting ready for Strongman Nationals 2020, and I was getting some signs of overtraining. And for me, overtraining is a difficult thing to like. Actual overtraining is not a common thing, but I've had it a couple times. I've experienced it a couple times, and for me, the biggest symptom of it, other than like just ungodly fatigue, is my body weight starts to drop like crazy. Like even though I'm still eating exactly the same stuff, my body weight just goes down rapidly. So that happened going into nationals. And so I just kind of on accident, I was just like, hey, I can't be overtrained at nationals. Like, I'm just going to take a longer deal. I'm going to roll the dice. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to go. And so at the time, I had actually kind of just tested my 1 rep max on deadlift, and it was 665. 665 or 675. It was 665 or 675 after I did Anthony Furman's deadlift program. So it was a mini peak. It was a test, everything. And so I only had like a couple months to train after that, and deadlift wasn't a big focus because it was already a strong event for me. I went into nationals with a 9-day deload, and I pulled 720 in the 5th and final event of a 2-day show on a power bar. So that number alone, that one event, told me, hey, I think you've struck gold. I think you found your deload protocol. And so I've been doing it ever since. And yeah, 8 to 9 days seems to be my sweet spot. I don't lose any strength. I perform optimally. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got one more bench session, one more squat session, one more deadlift session. And then from Wednesday next week until the meet the following Saturday, no training. A lot of times I'll tell people to at least get in the gym and move around, but I'm always so far behind on a lot of life things because of how tight my schedule is. Honestly, I usually don't go to the gym during deload, or I'll go and do like cardio or just like some stretching or whatever. Like, and my girlfriend's gonna give me shit for that because I don't really stretch nearly enough. But when I'm deloading, that's the kind of thing I'll do. I'll go use the reverse hyper. I'll do some stuff with bands, but like no actual lifting. Not even really accessories like dumbbell work. And that's just what works for me. I don't typically recommend people do my deload style because it is a little bit different than the norm. My peaking style, like the one we do at PowerWOD, it's very successful, but it's also very different from what most people do. So I don't usually recommend, hey, just don't go to the gym at all for 8 or 9 days. But that's what I do, especially at 36. That's worked really well for me. The last couple of years of shows that I've been doing this, I go in the day of the show just feeling amazing. The energy's great, joints feel good, muscles feel good, strength is there. The first time, so when I did Clash of the 90s out in Florida in 2022, which was the first pro show I did. Again, I think that was like the second or third time I had done this specific deload protocol. And the log we were warming up on was really heavy. I can't remember what the weight was. I think empty the log was like 220 or 240 or something. And yeah, I went in, I was like, fuck, like, because the peaking protocol is so heavy, it really builds up a lot of fatigue, and you know, it can kind of mess with your confidence a little bit going into a heavy show or a powerlifting meet. I use a similar protocol with my clients, and I always have to kind of talk them down from the ledge when they're like, oh man, I'm peaking, I'm about to compete, and my numbers are shit. It's normal for this peaking protocol. So I walked in like, oh god, the lightest log I can warm up with is like 220, which isn't crazy heavy, but when you're cold and you haven't trained in like 9 days, like that's just a little bit overwhelming. And I fucking smoked it to the point that I almost didn't believe that was the correct weight. So kind of rambled on there. We're at 14 minutes, so I'm probably gonna wrap it up for this one. But that's where things are at. I'm gonna go train 3 more times, maybe 2 more times, maybe not even all 3. Maybe I'll do squat and deadlift or bench and squat or whatever in the same session. But I've got a couple more training sessions, then a deload. I'm going to go do a powerlifting meet, try and increase my total, which my best right now is 1630 by way of 562 squat, 363 bench, and 705 deadlift. And the 705 deadlift is my opener. They misloaded my second attempt by like 30 pounds. So I almost locked it out. I almost got it anyway. and we realized the mistake. My shoulder's getting tired, but I got to keep holding this up from this way because it's getting washed out. They let me decrease my third attempt because they made the mistake and overloaded my second. But I was so smoked from fighting because I really tried to grind it out that I couldn't even get the third off the floor. So I'm a little peeved. It's something that's been bothering me ever since, and it was like 3 years ago, because I smoked my opener at 705. It was the heaviest opener in the meet out of any weight class, and then that ended up being my best lift. So I'm hoping to increase that, even though my static strength is a little down right now. But things are moving. They're not moving quick, but they're moving. So if I can get like a 575 squat, I don't know if I'd match my bench, but if I can get close to the bench and then just eclipse my my opener from 3 years ago on the deadlift, because I'm going to open lighter, maybe like 660, 650, something like that, just based on what Jesse's advice was, watching me do my last heavy pull. I could get like maybe 1650 or something, which would be a huge win for me. I'd be really happy with that. So that's where things are at. I'm going to do my training. I'm going to get this meet knocked out, and then things are really going to ramp up from there. My workouts will change. My diet will probably change a little bit. My supplements will change. And I'll start posing. And I'm probably going to post a lot of posing content because for anyone that follows me and doesn't follow bodybuilding, that's going to be just as new for you as it is for me. But we're going to have a lot to learn there. There's a lot of control that you need over all the different muscles. I've been watching a lot of stuff with bodybuilding where, you know, a common mistake is with the upper body centric poses. Guys aren't posing their legs, and so even though you're flexing your arms, your shoulders, everything, like, you still have to flex your quads and your hamstrings, and it takes a lot of concentration. And from what I've heard from everyone that's ever done it, it's actually really exhausting. You could do 45 minutes of posing practice, and it's as tiring as like an actual workout. It can be very painful, from what I've heard. So it's going to be a huge learning curve there, and there's going to be a lot of development. So I'll do my best to capture as much of that as I can, show you how my training changes. Excited to see what if any differences there are with the dieting stuff. And it'll be interesting there, going through a bodybuilding prep eventually with diabetes. So that'll be another thing to kind of see what I have to do differently and see what challenges come up. And luckily I know some, well, I guess I know a person that's done bodybuilding with type 1 diabetes, so I'll have to ask her a bunch of annoying questions. But yeah, if you want to see more of this stuff, or if you like my other videos with the dieting and how I maintain my body weight and stuff, do the like, subscribe, comment, share. Share with any friends or family you have that might be interested in this kind of stuff. I'm going to be doing more of these vlogs, maybe once or twice a week. Not quite Sam Sulek level frequency, but I'll be doing these a couple times a week, and then the other videos will be coming at the current cadence that they've been at, which is, not as frequently as I'd like, but every couple weeks maybe. And things are changing up with work schedules, so that should enable me to do those more often. Yeah, that's it. I'll do this again in a few days probably. Oh, and congratulations to Sam Sulek, who I'm ripping off entirely in this video, for winning his pro card at the Arnold a couple days ago.